Game Development 101, written by Nikhil Malankar, dedicated to all the passionate gamers who have dreamt of creating games. Forward. One icy January morning in Tokyo, I clicked on the trailer of a game I'd never heard of called Mumbai Gullies. What followed was a fast-paced car chase across an impressively rendered digital slice of Mumbai. After years of community requests for a GTA-style game set in India, the visuals were a minor revelation. I immediately texted the link to industry friends, and questions came in the think and fast. What's this about? Is it real? Or at least in engine? And who the hell is Game On Studios? The following day, I had a call set up with the studio's founder. I went in expecting a grizzled Unreal Engine techie with multiple titles under his belt. The face that came into my Zoom window looked about 18, had fashionably shaggy hair, and wore outsized Harry Potter glasses. With unvarnished enthusiasm, he took me on a proud virtual tour of his modest office in Mumbai, taking care to point out the vast slum outside his window. This is the Mumbai I want to build, a city of contrast, slums, and high rises, where every kid dreams of making it to the top. Nikhil embodies the dreams of all kids who fell in love with games and wanted to make their own, and he's made that dream a reality the hard way, the best way, by doing, by trying, failing, and trying again. For 5 years, he's also broadcast his learning journey on YouTube, publishing dozens of popular videos on the art, science, and business of game production. He founded Game Eon as a teenager and cut his teeth working on over 150 games for leading global clients such as Disney. During this time, his channel has amassed nearly 90,000 followers and over 5 million views. Game development today has become democratized with free to start engines like Unity and Unreal Engine, low code toolsets across the development stack, and games with community creation built in from Roblox to Dreams. Coupled with unprecedented global investment chasing innovative gaming teams, there's never been a better time to build your own games. Despite this, I still come across many teams with big ideas that lack the execution experience to match. Learning, mentorship, and finding like minded communities are essential investments to level up your game. Nikhil's book presents an easy to digest set of best practices to get you started and links to an aspirational community of game builders. He also covers many of the issues first time developers face along their journey, from practical insights on design and monetization to unlocking the network power of community. Who better to begin your journey with than the kid who started with big dreams, learned through action, honed his experience over 150 games, and shared that journey with the community at every step. Gaming is the 21st century's art form, and we have barely scratched the surface of its potential. It's a frontier industry that rewards big dreamers willing to keep learning and give it their best. Good luck, and I can't wait to play your next game. Code by Justin Sriram Killing, General Partner at Lumikai Fund. Introduction. Games have fascinated me since my childhood. I still remember the days when I was a 3 year old kid sitting on my dad's lap and being fascinated by the world of computers, more specifically, video games on computers. This fascination led me to explore the world of gaming as I grew up playing all the old classics such as Midtown Madness, Road Rash, Mortal Kombat, and more. I have been a gamer ever since I can remember, and when I was in my ninth grade, I was interested in modding games. This interest of mine led me to where I stand today. I am currently running a game development studio named Game Eon Studios. While founding this studio, I was a total outsider who had absolutely no idea of two things. Number one, how to make games. Number two, how to run a business. Over the years, I found out that this problem is increasingly common, and a lot of people who want to start making games have no idea where to start or an overall guidance is missing. Keeping this in mind, I started my own YouTube channel wherein the intent was to share an honest take of this industry and how to get started in the game development business. The intent was also to share my successes, failures, and learning along the way transparently and perhaps also inspire and educate people about this field. Game development, I believe, is one of the most misunderstood industries out there. For an outsider, it looks as though this is an industry which is filled with a lot of fun and that the people who make games actually have to find a full time job. Not a lot of people know for a fact that this is an industry that is set for a massive trajectory of growth, not just in terms of projection, but also in terms of hard facts. The industry is ever growing by clocking in cumulative revenue figures in billions. This book is a simple compilation of the most commonly asked question on my YouTube channel. I came to realize that although I have created lots of videos on my YouTube channel, yet there have been instances wherein I have been asked the same question that have already been covered on my channel. Therefore, I thought it would be great to actually combine all the questions into a single book so that all the information is readily available and easily accessible in terms of chapters. Also, the primary language of my videos is Hindi, so someone who does not speak or knows Hindi will not understand my content on YouTube. Therefore, this book generalizes all of that into English language to have a better global appeal. You may find some content repetitive, but this just because I'm assuming that the majority of you will not read the book in the chronological order of chapters and will just skip to the chapter that is most useful for you. However, if you do choose to read as per the chronological order, then this is just a heads up from my end. My hope with this book is that it helps you know how this industry works, and if you are an aspiring game developer, then this book may help you to figure out a path for you. I have made sure not to sugarcoat things anywhere, and it may feel at times that some parts of the book may seem discouraging for aspiring game developers. However, it is surely a tough industry to make your name in, and if it is not presented in the way that it actually is, then I would be doing a great disservice to the readers. I can assure you one thing, though, is that after you read this book, you will surely get a proper clarity on how to get into this industry, survive, and flourish as the paths presented in this book are proven and tested. And I have shared all of this from my personal experiences being in this space. Also, as a side note, most of the numbers presented in this book are in Indian rupees. However, the logic behind those numbers stays more or less the same, so you can turn those numbers into the equivalent of your country's native currency to get a better perspective on your local situation. Why should you listen to me? Well, simple. I have been in the game development industry since 2013 and have managed to survive as well as raise funds to investors along with creating a community of more than 1 lakh subscribers at the time of this writing. From the feedback that I have received so far, I can safely assume that the knowledge that I have gained over the years will surely prove beneficial to you. I have also been successful in raising capital for my company, Game Eon Studios, through a network of investors. This book is primarily divided into 8 parts. Feel free to read any chapter in any order you like. I will write down a small brief for each section so you can get a better idea on which chapter will be more suitable for you. Understanding game development. In this section, we learn broadly about games and game development. If you have zero experience in the gaming industry, then it is recommended that you start from this series of chapters as it will give you a better clarity on the overall aspects of games and game development. Critical terms are explained in very basic language, thereby setting a strong foundation for you to navigate the space. Getting started in game development. Chapters in this section slowly start to get a little advanced, but can be still easily grasped by someone who has just started in the industry. You can consider this section as somewhat of a career guide for you to start out in the game development field. Business of game development. Here we start to explore some of the more interesting aspects and how you can make money in this industry. You learn crucial aspects such as how much to quote for making a game for a client, what kind of a mindset you need to have post launch of your game, and a whole lot of other interesting topics. Running a game development company. This section is specifically dedicated to the individual who aims to start his or her own game development company, touching on topics such as recruiting talent for your company, balancing cash flows, finding clients, managing deadlines are curated in this section. Nitty-gritties of game development. This section is an advanced section dedicated to some complex concepts in the field of game development. Learning the concepts in this chapter will truly give you an edge in the market. Would highly recommend not to skip any chapters in this section. My journey as a game developer so far. Sharing is caring. In this section, I share my personal journey as a game developer and the steps I took to reach where I am today. Can be read by a beginner as well as advanced folks, since it's always a delight to learn about our fellow game developers' journey. Staying motivated. This is where it gets most interesting and is a section dedicated for someone who has already started in this field. Perhaps you are looking for motivation to continue or just need a small push again. This section of the chapter will help you get the push needed. Common question and answers. Perhaps the most interesting interactions happen on my YouTube channel when I go live. I love to interact with my audience and they end up asking some really amazing questions. So, through this section, I have written the commonly asked question related to game development, thereby actually having more than 101 topics around game development in total. Thus, with the best of my intent, I present to you this exciting and challenging world of game development. My best wishes are with you, the reader. I hope you are able to find the clarity that you seek from this book with regards to this industry. A special mention to Vaibhav Chavan, Underdogs Studios LLP, as we generally do a lot of collaborations on YouTube, and the chapters Why do people make games, when to launch your game, and what do game development companies look for while hiring have some pieces of content that were contributed by him in the videos that went on my channel. A special thanks to my team without which this book would not have been possible. Debasis Koila and Vatsal Banushali played a pivotal role in coordinating for this book and were very kind and helpful throughout the entire process. My fiancée, Ankita God, for her constant support throughout the various ups and downs. A special mention to my ex boss, Mr. Sanjay Soni, for teaching me everything I didn't know I didn't know. Yep, you read that right. There are a few things in life that you know that you don't know, and there are a few things in life that you don't know that you don't know, but are equally important for your survival and growth. Sanjay sir is the backbone of whatever I am today. He is someone I will always look up to as he was the person who shaped me into who I am, and for that I will forever be grateful to him. And last but not the least, my parents for everything they have done for me unconditionally, especially my dad, who sparked an interest in computers and video games in me.